Hey guys, wow, almost another week has passed. I hope you guys had a great Easter break and a good week. I just wanted to give you a quick update on what we're pioneering right now. But first of all, I want to thank you all so much for what you've done past Sunday. There was such a creative vibe, just all together, putting on some music, looking at how we're gonna set up the room, and a total vibe, like in general. Drinking coffee, having fun together. I was talking to some visitors, the parents of Sabine, and also Wonu's boyfriend, and they felt so welcome, and they felt so, relaxed in asking questions, sharing their story. So I think that's a testimony of us building a good vibe. So I want to thank you all so much for doing that. Obviously we've been talking about we're in a pioneering season. You kind of can call it pioneer again. And so I just want to make sure that we're all still on board in that mindset of every week trying to look at how are we going to do things, evaluate our services, and also just look at what are we gonna do next week, just to make sure that we're doing the right things. So, let's just for the coming weeks, don't keep it too set mind in what we're doing and what we have done maybe in one Sunday, because the next Sunday could look totally different. On that topic, I just wanted to revisit our vision, our why, and what we are going to do differently this Sunday. And obviously I wanted to share with you guys before we head into the Sunday, just to make sure that we're all on board and that you're able to ask some questions about that. And hey, here we go. I just wrote some stuff on this whiteboard back here, but the first thing I want to mention is that Pastor Anna has shared some amazing things concerning the future of the church in the conference last Saturday, and obviously not everyone was there and not everything was in English. So these past coming weeks, we're going to share a little bit more about that in our gatherings on Sunday in Nijmegen, on the topics of the fivefold or the sixfold ministry of the future of the church and the future of church gatherings and services. And that's one thing I want to focus on right now, is that we still are obviously kind of in the mindset of church services, and for us to be able to go into the future focusing more on community and less on gathering in a traditional church service kind of mindset. We really want to make sure that we don't do church services. Now, last Sunday was amazing. Our vibe was amazing, and I think the whole community vibe was so good. But the content still was kind of like a church service. We still had, someone leading it, some songs, and then a preach, and it kind of felt like one-way traffic. So it was either someone speaking and someone listening. It was not really communicating. So we're going to focus a little bit more on that starting this Sunday. And I want to start with calling what we do on Sunday nights a community gathering rather than a community service. So we're calling it a community gathering. It's a gathering of people in community, and it's not necessarily a service. The word service describes, I'm doing you a service. There's something happening here, and there's someone receiving it here, but we're calling it a gathering. So it's a community gathering. Now, what did I write down on this board right here? Is community gatherings. And I think I just need to switch my camera so that it's not in reverse. So I'm gonna do that right now. So yeah, we're calling it community gatherings. I'm going to come back to this a little bit later. Now, here's the question, why are we doing this again? And obviously, we're just revisiting what we've talked about before. And what we really want to do is be able to have multiplication. So we want to multiply what we're doing here in the rest of the city of Nijmegen. Also, what we want to have is conversation. We want to make sure that we are in community together and talk to one another about what God is doing, what God is speaking, to make sure that we're not just listening, but we're also learning. So we want to make sure that we focus on conversation. Out of that conversation and out of the teaching and just talking to each other about it comes revelation. So that'll be the fruit of our gatherings. So then there's three things that we're gonna change a little bit for this Sunday, and that's the setting. I'll talk to you about that in a short sketch that we did, and I've already said this. We're not calling it services, but we're calling it gatherings. Why? It's more focused on community, and it's more focused on gathering together, and this is multiplication. This is multiplicable on different areas in Nijmegen, and also we don't want to have a run sheet. So we still kind of felt this past Sunday that because we have a run sheet, that we're thinking about might we need this and might we need that, and who's serving, and so obviously we still have a schedule to make sure that not everyone every week is doing the coffee, but we do that in rounds. But we just don't want to have a set run sheet. Why? To have such a feeling of community that is kind of flexible, like you would have in a home group. And so there's someone leading it, and there's someone preparing it. But as soon as everyone knows then we all feel like on top of our game, and we need to do this. What are we gonna do? But let's just be, flexible in what the Holy Spirit's doing, and make sure that the one who's leading it has prepared that. So hey, let's go back to that setting. This is the setting I want to test out this Sunday. So just make sure, just keep in mind, it's for this Sunday. And once we are building it up, we can still switch it around, try other things, and maybe switch it around next Sunday. We're still pioneering. And so what we're seeing here is instead of like 4 or 5 groups, we're going to do 2 big groups. Why? Feels more, feels more spacious in the room. Kind of feel a little bit cramped. Which made it feel like we couldn't really keep our social distance. So let's make 2 circles and make sure that there's at least 1 meter of distance apart, so that people feel there's some room, and just put a cluster of tables in there with the cards and stuff like that. And we're gonna put the speaker over here, so he has a location where he can see everyone, talk to everyone. But then the magic happens within this circle, as we talk together, as we maybe pray for one another, as we expand in conversation on the topic that the speaker has just shared. So what we want to do, obviously the same as before, we're going to start off with some coffee and make sure that everyone gets their place, and then we're going to have a section of welcome, a form of worship. This Sunday we're going to have communion, so I'll be leading that, and then teaching. So this is the only thing that the host is preparing. So he is making sure that the vibe is good here. If he needs worship in a song, he'll prepare that. He'll ask someone to help with that, or maybe even on the spot ask someone like, hey, could you just pray, just ask someone from the team, hey, can you pray for the wine? Can you pray for the bread? Or, could you lead us in that song? We can be quite flexible with that. And then obviously we'll have some teaching. This Sunday again, we'll have Pastor Anna teaching, because he's going to expand on what he shared already in the conference. And then after that, we'll have a section where we'll have more than we did last Sunday of talking and praying together. And so just making sure that there's room for us to expand on the topic that has just been shared, so that we can talk to one another, ask some questions, and then pray together. The most important thing is that it's with an open Bible. So if Pastor Anna has shared on, Ephesians 2 verse 4, we're going to read Ephesians 2 verse 4 and maybe do it in different translations and ask in the group, hey, what are you reading? What are you seeing? What are you seeing that God is, picking out for you? And let's talk about that with, in mind that it leads people to revelation. Now, in order to do this, we need facilitators. So this Sunday we'll have 2 groups. So we'll need 2 facilitators. Myself, I'll be one of the facilitators. Maybe Pastor Naomi will be one of the other facilitators, or we'll ask someone else to be a facilitator. Maybe I'll give one of you guys a call. But so that facilitator makes sure that we are in conversation, that we're talking to each other, and that the conversation is flowing. And maybe even, if needed, cut someone off and make sure that someone else is talking too. So hey, this is the setup that we're doing this Sunday, and just keep in mind we're calling it community gatherings. So it's not necessarily a service. You know, the Bible doesn't even speak about church services. It talks about gathering together every day. So we're calling it a community gathering. And we're doing this so that we can multiply, can have conversation, and lead people to revelation. Hey, thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to this Sunday. Make sure that you ask me questions if needed. And thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.